channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video that I promised you guys that I was going to do and never did. I got the Go palette, the Cairo Go palette from Coastal Scents in my Boxycharm last month, and when I opened it I was not so excited about it, but it was an affordable price, and I said that I was going to do kind of like a review for you guys, and then I never got around to it. School has been kicking my butts. Just in the past 3 days I've done like 5 assignments for one class, so but I did want to get this up for you guys because I promised you guys that I was going to be doing this review, and then I never brought it to you. So, and something is in my eye, and I don't, it's driving me bonkers. I don't know what's going on with my eyes today, guys. It's like, there's something like in here, and it's like killing me. But I wanted to do this review for you guys, just kind of like a mini review. I'm not going to do any looks or anything. If you guys do want me to do some looks with this, I have worked with this. I did wear this for about 2 weeks, pretty much every day. So I got kind of a good general idea of what I thought about it. So first we're going to talk price point. This little palette right here is $12.95. That's what Boxycharm told me when they sent it to me. And like I said, when I got it, I wasn't like overly impressed. When I kind of started to do some of like the swatches and things on my hand, I was kind of like, I don't know about that. Because I just didn't think that, I didn't think it was that great. And I'm going to tell you what I think about each individual shade, and then kind of why I'm not like super like pumped up about it, but why I don't think it's a terrible like option. So this is the packaging. I do like the packaging. I feel like it's decently sleek. It fits in with the rest of my palettes and my storage system over here. I do like the text on the front. I feel like it's very simple. And then it has one thing I love about this palette, and I'm not going to show you because it's going to blind you, but this like entire section, this whole section is a mirror. I mean, it's huge. And I did say that, I believe, in one of my tutorials I was using this as a mirror. My Maybelline's the Nude palette. I did a tutorial with that, and the Nudes palette didn't have a mirror, and I was actually using this mirror. This mirror is awesome. It is huge. I mean, it's the entire size of this front part right here. It's massive. It's huge. I mean, you can really get in there. I love the mirror on this thing. I love the mirror. I think that was a great packaging detail instead of putting like a real small mirror in there. I mean, you got a huge, ginormous mirror, and I actually use this palette, the mirror from this palette, when I'm like pulling from other eyeshadows and things where I don't have maybe a mirror that I like as much. So the mirror is very key. I do like the little closure here. Like it has like the little button and you push it in and then it pops up. I think that's nice, and it snaps back shut, so I don't have to worry about it like flopping open. I do like that. I think that's great. And then the shadows, here are the shadows that you have in here. I think that there's a good color range. I do like the color range of shadows in here. You have some nudes, you have some darks, you have some lighter colors. You do have a mix. You do have some shimmers, and then you have like a matte brown here. That one's matte. This one right here is matte. So there is a good mix of different finishes, so I do like that concept. The light colors here, though, this is like a blue. It's like a very light baby's blue, and this is like a very light green. The lighter colors, and even this kind of like silvery blue color here, the lighter colors are very powdery, I find, when you put them on. I would never highlight with the light blue. I just wouldn't. But if you were going for a certain look, I could see how you would. But I don't reach for these 3 colors, especially when I'm using this palette, because they're super powdery. And I would have kind of liked to seen like a more normal like highlighting shade, you know, something that wasn't a blue or was not a green, because if you're going for that look, that's great. But if you want to use this and you want to buy this palette as kind of an overall, and you love these like really like pretty colors, and some of these colors are really great for fall, you don't have like a constant highlighting shade that you can use. You have to use blue or green. Those are your choices for your highlighting shade, or you can use this like silvery blue here. Sorry, see, the mirror is huge though, guys. Like, look how big it is. Like, takes my whole hand, and it's like still you can see stuff. Love the mirror. I'm raving about the mirror. Buy it for the mirror. But you don't have a good, like, consistent, really natural kind of highlight shade, which I found really bothered me, because when I was using this palette and I was using every color from this palette, I was having to pull another eyeshadow or pull something else from another palette to use as a highlight shade, which is not a huge deal. I just think for people who maybe are starting out and they don't have a lot of different palettes or a lot of different options, and they want to get this palette, in particular the Cairo palette, you don't really have a good highlighting shade. So just keep that in mind if you're wanting to pick it up. And they do have other ones too. They have like a Beijing one, they have a Paris one. I'm not sure what the other ones are like. I'm kind of curious. If you guys have any of the Coastal Scents palettes, like the different ones, the Beijing, the Paris, I'm not sure how many they have. Let me know in the comments down below if you like those colors, because I'm kind of interested to see if the color payoff is different, if, you know, they have more of a highlighter shade in the other palettes, you know, kind of what the other palettes are kind of all about, if the other palettes are a little bit better than maybe the Cairo palette. But the one I'm going to be talking about obviously is the Cairo palette, and I'm going to do swatches for you. I'm going to go on the top row, so like this technically is the top row. I'm just going to go over from the light shade and just kind of like move over. The first one I'm going to be doing is this like blue shade, and it's extremely chalky. So this is one of the colors that, I mean, if you can see, just, I don't know if you can see it on my hand right now, when I went to wipe it on, that's chalk right there. That's on my, like, it's extremely powdery and extremely chalky, and there's a lot of fallout that happens with the shade, and that really bothers me. When you blend it out, it goes into like a more white color, but if you can see, the pigmentation on these is not fabulous, but it does go into a more white color. So if you're looking kind of for a stark highlight, as long as you blend it out really well, you could use this as a highlight. I just don't prefer to. The next color is this really pretty green. And what I do like about this green is that it's a little bit chalky and a little bit powdery, but it has a really pretty, and this is the swatch they're really light, guys. Some of these colors are not super pigmented, so just beware. But it's a green, but it has a really pretty gold to it. So I really do like this color. I wish it was a little less powdery, but I do think it's a really pretty color. I don't necessarily think it's true to the color that's in here, because this, I'm looking at it, and this is like a very pale green, like a very pastel, like Easter egg, you know, we're, you know, doing pastel colors green, but on the hand and on the eye, it swatches more gold, which I think is gorgeous. Just beware that, you know, if you're looking at this and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that pale green, it's not going to show up pale green like it is in the palette. It's going to have more of a gold to it, which I prefer, because I prefer the gold over the pale green. Pale green is not something that I would really pull for on a normal basis unless I was doing a particular look. The next color, and these are both shimmery shades, by the way. This one is supposed to be a little bit matte, but it has a little bit of iridescence to it, and this is like a shimmer. The next one is like another shimmery shade, and this is a brown. This is the one of the colors that I really, really liked. And sometimes you gotta, I'm doing 3 swatches on one thing here, because sometimes you gotta build up that intensity. This color I think is super pretty. This is one of the colors that I used a lot from the palette when I was doing a look. I really, really, oh my gosh, I just love it. I do really like this color, and this one's a little bit smoother. This one is not as chalky. Sometimes it does take a little bit to build up like the color payoff. You don't get the color payoff right with the first swatch. So I had to do like, you know, 2 or 3 swatches here. But the color payoff is good after you kind of build it up, and it's a really, really pretty color, and it does blend really easy. And it doesn't have a lot of that, you know, flakiness, the cakey, or the chalkiness and the fallout and all of that. The next color is a really pretty like dark green. I would say it's kind of like that forest green, but like a little bit darker, and it's a shimmer shade as well. I'm just really building up the swatches so you guys can see that it's got like a nice like gray kind of like undertone to it, but it is a green. So I don't know if it's just my camera that's not showing it off, but this is a really gorgeous shade. And again, this one is a lot more creamy. I'm just grabbing my baby wipes because I didn't think this through again. Last time I did swatches for you guys with my Maybelline palette, I did the same thing, and I had like no like baby wipes. Oh, and they're dry. They're all dry. See, this is what I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to use my glacial wipes then for the first time ever, because it's the only thing I have in front of me. I got these in my Ipsy bag, if you guys watch my Ipsy unbagging. So first time opening and using them right here with you guys. So I guess we'll see if they really are cooling sensationed. Oh, yeah, they're wet. Oh, boy. Okay. Smells delicious. It does. It smells divine. Ooh. Well, those are nice. Would I still pay like $15 for 30 of them? No, but they're nice. But that was the first row there. These 2 colors have got to be my favorite from the first row. This one is really nice. Just keep in mind it's a little bit chalky, and you're going to have a lot of fallout. This one, it's just not for me. It's super, I mean, it's like sidewalk chalk. It's super chalky, and I just don't like it. But these 3 are not too bad. We're going to go on to the next row. We have a shimmery kind of blue-gray, and this one, again, is one of the lighter colors that I find to be really, really chalky. I mean, I have it on my hand. It's all in the container. It's very, very chalky, but it's very pretty. So it's a really like a blue toned gray, a really light blue toned gray. It's really, really gorgeous. Just keep in mind that it is going to be a little bit chalky. The next color is like a bronzy kind of gold, and this is the color that I used a lot. I mean, I've actually kind of made pretty big dent in this color because I really, really like this color. It's so gorgeous. It's got a lot of orange undertone to it. It's a really orangey kind of bronze, but it has that hint of gold in it too. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And that one's a little bit creamier, and that one's easier to work with. The next color, and I actually use this a lot as well, is a darker brown with a little bit of a purple like undertone to it, and this is the shimmer shade as well. You don't get a ton of matte options, not a ton of matte options that are good, but you get some. But this is a shimmer shade, and I use this one a lot as well because I thought that was really pretty. It's a darker version of the brown that we just saw, only it's more purple undertoned, and I thought, I mean, this is just gorgeous. This is in the outer V. I use this a lot in the outer V and the crease. I thought that was really, really pretty. The next color, again, is the shimmer shade. I'm going to have to move over here. And this is a color that I used a lot as well, which is really, really nice. It's a beautiful, like, charcoal. I look like I have a fake tan, a spray tan. I don't. I just look weird. Okay. It's really, really pretty. And this one is, again, a lot creamier. It's not as flaky. It just seems to be the lighter shades that have that chalkiness. You do get some fallout, though, with a lot of these shades, but that's to be expected. And I do find that using a nice eye primer or an eye base really helps. I use that anyway, but I find that if I was to use it without it, I wouldn't like the palette as much. I'd be like absolutely no about it. If you use a good eye base, even if you do a concealer or foundation over your eyes, or use an eye primer, or use like a white pencil, any kind of eye base is really going to help these shadows stick, and it's going to help the pigmentation as well, and you're not going to get as much fallout. So on that row, I pretty much have nothing really negative to say about any of these shades. This one is very chalky, but it's a very pretty color, and I use these three quite a lot. I mean, you can tell by this one that I've used that bronze one quite a lot. And we're going to go to the last row, and the last row has all matte colors. So we have this like olive green first, the matte olive green, very, very chalky, very, very flaky, and it's not super, super pigmented at all. This is not a color that I really used much. I kind of went to use it. Yeah, no. It just makes it look brown. I kind of went to use it, and I just didn't really like the consistency of it. It is a matte. It's nice to have a matte in there, but I just wasn't a huge fan of the texture of it. I just feel like it's really chalky. What is chalky? Chalky. The next one, and I'm going to start swatching sideways because I'm like running out of room on my hand here. The next one is a really pretty like matte medium like brown. And this is a really nice transition color, I feel, for the crease. I do like this one. I did use this one a lot. So I don't find anything really negative. This one, it's a really like pretty color. It's not super crazy pigmented, but it's not bad. It's a really good like transition color. The next color is a matte like deep brown. And this one I'm so about. I like the fact that there's a really I like the fact that there's a really like dark matte brown in the palette. I do like that, especially if you want to use this on outer crease and you don't want to do any shimmers. I do like this. Like, it's a little strange that it is so chalky because the darker colors in the palette aren't seeming to be really chalky. It's the lighter colors. But this one I find to be just a little bit on the chalky side. And it kind of bothers me a little bit because when I'm working with it, I feel like I'm getting a lot of like flaky like chalk fallout on my face, and it just kind of bothers me. But I think it's nice that they included a dark matte brown. You can use this a little bit more versatilely, that you don't have to do a shimmer look if you want to do like a neutral eye look, and this is like the palette that you really have and you don't have any other palettes and you're looking into purchasing this. It's nice that they have these kind of matte shades that you can do a really nice neutral look with, and then you can like throw in this like green somewhere if you wanted to, but you can pull off a really good neutral look. The last color is a black, and this is a matte black, and this one's hit or miss too. I like the fact that and this is my fourth time going over my hand, guys. I like the fact that they included a matte black. What I don't like about it is it's not necessarily super chalky. I mean, all of these are not going to be upstanding, mega buttery quality. They're all like a little bit chalky, but it's not crazy chalky. But what I don't like is when you dip your brush in and you're going in and you just do like one swap, this is what you get. That's what you get. This is 4 to 5 times of me like rubbing it like back and forth. Like if you just go in once and you just swipe it over, like that's twice. Let me get some more. That's 3. You gotta rub it, rub it, rub it. There you go. Like, it's like you can't, you know, get in there and just kind of dab it on and get, you know, lightly in there and darken up your outer V. I found it kind of hard to work with the black color because either I wasn't getting enough on there, or, you know, I was getting frustrated because I wasn't getting enough on there and it wasn't giving the color payoff that I wanted. And then it's like all of a sudden I had too much. So I found that it was hard to get like an in-between for me. You had to be really careful. You needed just the right amount, not too little, not too much. So those were the swatches. I'm just trying to wipe my hands off. This video, it's long again. God, it's like all underneath my fingernails. And the wipes, by the way, they're pretty decent. I wouldn't say they're worth $15 for 30 of them, but they're not bad. So if you watch my Ipsy unboxing, the Skin Glacial wipes, not terrible, not terrible. I will use them. Will I buy them? No, but I will use them. So just in case you wanted to know. So overall, the palette. It's not bad. It's really not bad. And I know, like, at the beginning I was like, oh, well, you know, it's not bad. I just feel, for me, I have palettes that I like more. I have palettes that I go to more. I use this for the sake of the tutorial, and I played with it and I did different looks and I used different colors, and once I kind of was like, okay, I got a good feel for it, I stopped using it because I didn't like it enough to use it over some of my other palettes. Is that to say that it's not a good beginner's palette and that you shouldn't buy it? No. I do like it. I just feel like I don't gravitate towards it as much as my other palettes. I don't know why. The chalkiness bothers me. The colors don't really, I mean, the colors are really great. I think the chalkiness and the quality just really kind of bothers me, as opposed to some other palettes that I have that I think are a little bit better. But overall, I don't think it's bad for the price. $12.95 is not that bad for what you're getting. You're getting a huge variety of shades. And the only shades that I'm really not impressed with is this olive green here, because it just doesn't show up. I like the fact that they made it a matte. I like the fact that they have a whole row of mattes. This is really great. And I just don't like this. I just don't like this. I just don't like it. Like these three right here are just really chalky. Everything else I like. I used everything else in a look. You know, everything else I thought was really pretty and really beautiful. You had to work with it a little bit. You had to make sure that you used the primer, which is not bad. It's just kind of like a disclaimer. You know, I like to tell people that, because if you go put it on, you're like, well, you told me this color was gonna use a primer, use a white base if you want to, especially with the lighter colors. And just beware that you're gonna have some fallout and it's gonna be a little bit chalky. But overall, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe I should start doing scales for you guys. I would put it at about, overall, not thinking about the fact that I have palettes that I like better, an 8.5. If I'm thinking about the fact that I have palettes that I like better, it's like a 5, because I just don't ever use it, ever. But if I'm thinking overall, and, you know, I didn't have all of the eyeshadows and the palettes and the stuff that I have, I would give about an 8.5. Although there is some chalkiness in there, and although some of the color payout on some of the shadows is not the best, you can get some great looks out of here. There's some great colors in here. I like the mix that you have these mattes here, but then you also have the shimmers, and they're not like whoosh. I mean, they're not like pixie fairy shimmer. It's just like kind of like a light shimmer. Overall, at 8.5. So it's not a bad palette for the price if you guys are interested in purchasing it. I just wanted to be really kind of real and honest with you guys and let you know what I particularly thought, just from my own personal opinion. And a lot of my own personal opinion is the fact that I've kind of gotten a little bit of a mini collection, and I just gravitate towards other things more, and I just don't gravitate towards this as much, but I think it's still a good palette, and I would be curious to kind of check out the other like colors, because I don't think the quality is that bad that I would not maybe buy Beijing or buy Paris. So again, if you guys have those palettes, or you know anyone who has those palettes and you've worked with them, and do they have some spectacular colors, how is the fallout, let me know down below, because I might be interested in getting one of those other palettes and kind of seeing it, because I like this concept, I like this idea. And I don't think it's a terrible palette. I just don't reach for it. So it gets a lower score personally in my book at the 5. But an overall score for like everybody, an 8.5 is not that bad, especially for $12.95. So I would be interested in trying out some of the other ones though. So let me know if you guys have those, and maybe I'll like pick one up and like play with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope I wasn't too harsh. I'm a little harsh. Sometimes I am, but I like to just be really honest and give my own personal opinion on things and like tell you guys the nitty gritty. Do you hear that? I don't know if you can hear it. Someone's cutting the grass next door. It rained here like all last weekend, or not last weekend. It was really cold last weekend. The weekend before it like rained. I think that's how it went. I don't know, but no one's cut their grass here in like 2 weeks. So now they're out there like, and I'm like, that's great. Can you not do it now? But if you hear that, sorry, it's my window's open and they're having a field day. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I might have said tutorial a second ago, did I? I might have. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys have those other palettes, let me know. If you guys have the Cairo palette and I'm completely off base and I'm completely wrong and I need to do something else with it, and if I use a certain product, it'll be better, let me know, because I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Or if you guys have this palette and you've created looks with it, share those looks with me, because I always like to see what everyone else kind of creates, and maybe it's something I have not thought of doing. Maybe, you know, I wasn't using the colors maybe in the best way. So let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up as always. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. I love you guys so much. I'm really trying to push out these videos for you guys and really give you guys some good content, and I just get excited, more excited every time I make a video, and I'm just like, oh, I got a new idea, I want to do it. And if you guys are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any great, wonderful things in the future. My camera's lagging. I hope it's not going to do that weird, like, Godzilla voice thing later for you guys. If it does, I'm really sorry. And I will see you guys soon in another video. Bye.